Hello, welcome to New Meta episode 71. My lucky number, by the way. That's a nugget for you straight off the bat. We have plenty of things to talk about today. Mine action, major mini esports discussion, and then a sort of classic New Meta episode structure, I think, where we're going to talk about three heroes in the meta that are fun or underrated or not underrated but exceptionally good. And we'll get to those later. Marco, welcome to the pod. How are you?
Yo, doing well. One comment I've thought about for the last 5 hours, I was walking home and it was torrential rain, and I was like, this is what it must feel like being a hero playing against Torrent Storm, the Kunga Ags. I was like jumping all over the place, trying to hide from getting tsunamied.
You're getting thrown in the air by torrents and
coming
out
in random
actually
directions. Insane when I left work today, how bad it was.
Adam, you're in a much sunnier part of the world. I presume you're not being torrent stormed on your way to and from work. How are you?
I'm good. It's like 63 degrees today in January. Now I got to think of my conversion to Celsius.
Yeah, I was just thinking, 63 degrees.
Euro lads.
All chat question mark.
New highest temperature recorded on Earth.
It is 17.2 degrees today.
Wow, nice.
That's pretty nice, yeah.
It feels bad. I miss when the globe wasn't as warm as it is now.
Yeah, that's a Pepe hands.
I mean, January should not be this hot.
Yeah, it's a weird one in the UK because it's like, I wouldn't mind a bit of global warming in a vacuum for the UK, but if you, in terms of lines of latitude, we're actually on line with like Moscow and stuff. The only reason and Canada, the only reason we're temperate rather than more of a northern, super snowy, cold climate is because of the Gulf Stream. And if there's global warming, the Gulf Stream might stop. So in classic British irony, if global warming continues, we'll get colder, I believe.
Oh, what?
If the Gulf Stream stops. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me.
I'm taking that as gospel.
I believe that's true. I do. I was definitely told that once, but yeah. Torrent storms aside, though, we've had. Well, actually, how have games been? Get this one out of the way. How have games been?
Man, I had a 9-win streak, and then it came to a sad end 2 days ago. Right, a few days ago.
And the prediction streak as well.
No, yeah, that was it. Sorry. Oh, no, yeah, it was a 9 prediction streak. Tactically left off a prediction, had a loss. So the win streak ends, prediction streak doesn't. And then I think it was yesterday that the prediction streak went to the bin.
Yeah, you trusted my life stealer, which was a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems with that game. I can't remember what hero I was playing.
Pugna. Maybe that's part of the problem.
That was when they had that Ursa that went crazy. And there were so many times when me or Stan would be like just on the edge of living or dying to this Ursa, and he'd get one more right click or he'd get that bash off or something, and he finished the game 26-2-3, which is obnoxious, and he was not that good. He just got that snowball just enough to keep going.
He got a 16-minute Abyssal Blade, which was kind of insane.
Big, scary.
Because you just Abyssal, like, I'm supposed to counter him with Decrep, but then 16 minutes into the game, like, the Abyssal range is so long, you can do it out of trees if you're not careful, you know what I mean? So I just get one shot out of trees during Abyssal Blade, and it's suddenly like, well, suddenly I can't Decrep save anyone, and then Ursa just goes to town, like, once I'm dead.
Because if he jumps on you, 1.5 sec... Wait, what is it? Trying to read the spell. 2 second stun. When he's got an overpower on, it's basically guaranteed he's going to get another stun. So, unless you've got a +1 nearby, 15 minutes in the game, you can't survive an Abyssal. So he really snowballed hard. And it's such a shame because we were about 20, 25k gold XP down, but they did have a pretty crap lineup. They had no lockdown other than a Lich, Gaze, and a Dismember. So we were playing some really good fights, kiting the Ursa, blowing up one hero, controlling some others. We did have some heroic holds, but we were just too far behind to pull through. Really frustrating loss.
Ultimately, Abyssal Blade, the new Abyssal Blades, opens up so many more options for Ursa, because that gap close is just incredible. And obviously the Q as well.
Yeah, even the Q to just keep on top of heroes is so strong. Funnily enough, I've not bought this new Abyssal yet, which is crazy. And I've played a couple anti-mages in that. This Abyssal
so good.
Yeah, it seems so cool. I can't believe I've not had a chance to use it. Looks really fun.
I can't believe you haven't played it on Void Spirit. That's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
There's so many items on Void you want.
Yeah, but I've done it before. That was like, I think my first game, I was like, I got to try this, because you bash through the line and then jump again. It just gives you another jump, and the more jumps Void Spirit has, the better.
I saw a Pangolier game. I saw a mid-Pango game where they built... It was Thompson, and he built an Abyssal Blade, and so he'd roll in, blink back to hit them again, and then because you can Abyssal during ult. So then Abyssal, and then hit them. So like it's like a quad stun in the ult. It's like pretty abusive.
Leave it on Marco. I'm 7-1 in my last 8 games, and the one he predicts is the one that we lose. That's my one loss. Feels bad. My games have been pretty solid. I think the last time my foray into rank that got updated on the pod, I had lost like 8 games of support in a row. And then I've been more interested in playing ranked. And I've gone 13-4 in support ranked. So, big jump.
Very nice. Immortal gaming on the horizon, surely.
Well, I got a couple more ranks to go, but I do have 46% to Divine 4, so that's a nice, solid percentage that I don't think I can tank. But now that I've said that, rest
See you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to check in on that percentage in future apps. I'm sure the listeners will be dying to know.
And it hasn't all been Viper either, so that's been cool.
Diversified.
Yeah, diversified my bonds.
You went down the hero wheel, 2 heroes back 2 heroes to Venge. Just a tiny little scroll.
Yeah, Venge, and then there's Disruptor and a Lich game in there. So.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, if you played heroes that only began with Void Spirit, Visage, Viper, Veno, Venge, that's a decent repertoire there. You wouldn't think that out of the V letter.
That's a pod. Which letter of the alphabet has the best hero pool?
Yeah, if you could actually construct a playable lineup with just heroes that start with that letter.
Yeah, definitely.
One last thing. Dota Buff Plus member over here. Apparently, I am rank 968 Lich in the world.
Whoa, Lich pod incoming.
Yeah, well, the first time I haven't had normally it'll give you like a percentile, and that was the first time I've had a rank and not just a 99% or something on a hero. So I don't know what to make of that.
That is cool. Yeah, I mean, you know you've made it if when you go on a hero in Dota Buff and you go on guides. If one of your games is one of the guides, then that would be next level if that ever happened. Yeah, if I go on Lich and you're up there, come dine with me mid or whatever, that'd be sick. My game's pretty boring, I suppose. I might do a little stint of support ranked because my support ranked games feel really good, and I put that down to the fact that I've got about 500 MMR difference, which is pretty significant, so the games are going to be like a lot easier. But I'm having quite a lot of fun playing like Lena 4 or Zeus 4 I played once, Tiny, and winning games, so I might do a bit more of that until I lose or stop having fun. Especially because I don't know if I need to sort out my hero pool for core ranked, but I feel like I'm bad at picking. Oh, one thing though that I did learn, today I learned, I was playing Razor against a DK, so I last picked Razor against DK, and it's a matchup I've played before and just completely stomped, because you should completely stomp, like Razor counters DK pretty hard. But I went to contest runes. You know how just become a habit of mine now that I go for a rune when I'm playing mid, and then walk back and sacrifice my block, which I did. And then DK didn't go to contest a rune at all, blocked his wave properly, and then creeps went into his tower, like my creeps, which then basically meant the whole laning stage was just creeps going from under one tower to under the other tower, which means that he just gets XP, and I can't really crush the lane like I should, if you understand what I mean. Because really you need the creeps right in the middle to then suck him out of all his damage and then get 100% CS, 100% denies. And I couldn't do that because the creeps were just going back and forth because I didn't block the lane, basically. So
that was not intended, though. Like, he didn't do that on purpose.
Were you this Dragon Knight player, Adam?
No, I'm just like, there's no way that it was like some mind game thing. It was just happy accident that he was blocking, and then like, oh, look at this, I get all this experience.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he probably wanted to just get it on his ramp, like the standard block, but I think it worked out better for him in the end that he did get it under his tower, because then this crappy, broken up laning stage where everyone's just trying to CS under their own tower, all the creeps are dying quickly and there's no like equilibrium, ended up suiting him really well. And so I think now going forward from the mid lane, if I've got a matchup that I am either really behind in, matchup wise, or really ahead of, then I think I'm not going to go for runes and I'm just going to block, because I need to have the laning stage go as well as possible to avoid a snowball.
So, it definitely works out better for him as the DK to hit under tower than for the Razor. Like, Razor is actually really hard to last hit under tower with, especially if you have the passive.
Exactly, yeah. And nowadays you can't even right-click while you're sucking them. So if they're like contesting your CS under your own tower, back in the day you could suck them and still just like hit creeps if you needed to. Now you can't. It's like the only way you can play the mid lane is during the equilibrium time, before any creeps are near death, then that's the time you have to suck them and then end that coil or whatever you want to call it, before any creeps are dead, unless you want to sacrifice creeps. But I just thought that was an interesting observation that I hadn't put yet, out of Outlanders, if you know what I mean. Don't contest the runes if you want to, or if you need to, get a really good block. Moving on then, it's sort of tournament weekend, I suppose, minor, and then a major upcoming, so we'll spend, I suppose, a little bit of time. I mean, do you guys want to talk about the minor at all, or look forward to the major?
I mean, I didn't really get to see much of the minor, but I kept seeing quite a lot of hype and attention around it. So it sounded like a really good tourney. Sounded like there were some sick games. I watched the clip just before of the Miracle Huskar. That was cool.
Or the Weehaw Husker?
What was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
And then, neutral items, high-level neutral items, apparently. It all sounded quite exciting.
It was a good minor, I think. All in all, it was a good one.
It's good to see pros play the patch and how they like move around the map and how they divvy up the items and stuff, the neutral items.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was really good. And then ended up with Nigma or Team Liquid, old Team Liquid stack winning. RNG and Nigma, it sort of felt like they were a cut above everyone else, and so it was apt that they met in the final. And RNG, after beating them 2-1 earlier in the upper bracket round 1, ended up losing 3-1, which I think they underperformed probably a bit in the grand finals. I mean, this old Team Liquid stack, now Nigma, is one of the most experienced stacks out there. I know Weeha's not been there too long, but the Kuro, Miracle, MCGH cores, I feel like they've just got ice in their veins sort of thing, and a lot of people say that they perform well under pressure, which, based on TI, where they sort of came out of nowhere in the lower bracket and ended up getting to the finals, and now at a minor being in the lower bracket, and they're obviously good under pressure, so well done to them, I suppose. Huskar being second phase picked, I thought that was funky. Also, Wind Ranger, I love it when there's one player that plays a hero and is just so really good with it, and all other pros won't even touch it. And so I respect Weehaw when he plays Wind Ranger and like makes it look like a sick hero. That was cool to see. I don't know if there's any other particular takeaways from in terms of picks. Not too much surprises.
Lots of Abaddon, lots of Omni Knight, lots of just like, it's just kind of obnoxious the amount of like save
and buffs.
Buffs.
Heals.
People were just like, nobody was dying. Like fights would take 2 minutes.
Chen,
all these
heals
ults would happen, and it was just like no one's dying. The sustain is crazy. They like put Spectre and then put a Heavenly Grace on him and like Solar Crest. Just
definitely.
And then status resist, that like a lot of halberds, which is interesting.
Halberd gives status resistance.
It's got Sange in there, so yeah.
So it's really interesting how like OD Astrals were lasting for like no time at all. They're like using both charges from the Ags just to like hold someone down for a second.
And then Rubik uses one that lasts like 20 seconds because of the null field buff. So funny. I know it was a narrow selection of heroes picked in this tournament. I know someone brought that up on Reddit, but kind of skewed because there's less games than in a major and less teams, so I don't know how much to read into that, but I think a third of the heroes weren't picked, which is very significant. You usually only have like a small number. TI was 3. So to have a third of the heroes not picked, that's maybe a bit worrying for Ice Frog. I don't know. It certainly did feel like the same heroes were coming up, all the time.
Yeah, I feel like in a minor, you'll always have more concentrated picks. I feel like the team's ability, less wide-ranging and less innovative. No disrespect. I feel like at a major, you will see a bit more wider hero pools. But yeah, that is always going to be something to look at. How many?
I don't know if it's just like a third of the hero pool sucks because of the way the game is now with outposts and like specific objective timing fights and stuff, or you just need to have like brawl ability and constant uptime on your skills, or if it's just because of what you guys said with it being a minor, smaller, kind of like more quickly fell into a meta, and then I'm sure there were heroes that weren't picked that could have taken a game or turned it on its head.
Yeah.
But there's still OD is a very long cooldown ultimate, and Doom was very popular, and that ultimate is like 2 minutes, 20 seconds. I think it's like 140 seconds or something. It is a Doom, though. It is like the most high impact.
Yeah.
Like take somebody out. Thought that was interesting that it was getting picked as a 4. Was it September? That
September God.
Yeah, he was playing
so good.
For Doom and was like getting a lot of points in the Devour, which is interesting.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I like the I always, since I was playing a lot of Doom, I also like the counterplay of Doom Rubik. I know that some teams were picking Doom Rubik together, so in a phase, like first phase, so then they wouldn't have to deal with Doom getting stolen.
Right.
But it's really interesting, or like not that tough to not have it get stolen. All you have to do is pop the Scorched Earth immediately after.
Yeah.
That's like instant cast point. You cannot trust getting off an Infernal Blade, and I don't even think you can like steal that as a Rubik. Maybe. Basically, you have to use Scorched Earth, otherwise you will get your Doom stolen, and then you will have a green Doom on the floor, and you'll be very sad because it will last way longer. And
nothing worse than a green Doom. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate spell. Not much to talk about the major. We did mention it. Spend a couple minutes. Any particular teams that we think are going to be strong, or is it just here's a few teams that are going to be weak, and out of the tier 1 teams, who knows? Because it's Outlanders and it's the Wild West. Marco, I think, I just want to say I think Nigma will be. It's not like they'll go from the minor and then be like not a favorite. I think they're quite good. So definitely. I think they are a contender. Yeah, for sure. Marco, any teams you think will be dead cert top 4 maybe, or is it hard to say?
I think it's hard to say. I think it's really exciting because the first major, everyone's still a bit sleepy. Not everyone's participating. Lots of people having breaks. So the first major doesn't get the same prestige as the next. So this one does feel really exciting because all the big dogs, minus OG, are there. People have had time to play the patch. People are grinding the fuck of DotA. People have had the minor, which was pretty competent. So everyone's getting hyped. So I really feel like the quality is going to be bonkers good. Who's going to do sick? I mean, it's kind of impossible to say. I really couldn't say. I'm just rooting EG Alliance.
Teams I'm interested to see are like new VP, right? That's going to be really strange to watch and just experience. And then Chaos Esports Club, the UR, CCNC, MSS, SVG squad. I think they can do things. And then Fnatic with 23 Savage. That's
I would say though, for those 3 specific teams, like VP, they could be sick, and it's like, oh my god, this new VP stack. It's just like the old VP.
I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll play. I don't think it will be good. I'm just interested to see it. Like I don't think. I think they'll be lower half, if not first out.
It's definitely possible. Yeah, it's definitely possible. You never know though. It's VP. They've got Solo and No One and Rezo, I suppose. Although Rezo on an off lane, I don't know.
What about Navi with Pasha at 3? That'll be interesting because he's always like the glue that held VP together, kind of. You know?
Yeah. No, that'll be interesting. Interesting. Chaos Esports Club. You know, SVG. You know, he's rank 2 support.
Is he?
Yeah,
behind Sumail.
Well, behind Sumail.
5s aren't supposed to have high MMR. I mean, a lot of the captain 5s don't have high MMR. SVG's like, watch this. Well, Kuro's rank 1,300. So, but there you go.
And you played with Solo, right? Marco, wasn't he around?
Solo was like
1,800 or something?
Yeah, low thousands, if not near 2,000.
Yeah.
I feel like that is partly because they are less grinders. There is a bit of that.
Part of that, yeah. They'll do more watching, more strats. And,
yeah.
I would say, also there, I feel like when you're a 5 for a pro team, it's almost like you're more specialized towards your specific team. Like Kuro can set up miracles so well, obviously, because Kuro's like a world-class POS 5. If he does the same things in a pub, it's just not, not going to work, because whereas a core's going to hit creeps, you know, like Arteezy can do his farming patterns if he's in a pub or in a pro. So maybe it's a bit different. Maybe I'm just talking out of my butt ski though, who knows. I would say a team that I'm love watching also is IG. Invictus Gaming have some super fun players. Emo, their mid, and JT, their 3, are both really wacky, like play unusual heroes and very, very flashy, really, really good. Emo's like highly touted. Sumail always says like, oh, he's going to be the next best player in China, sort of thing.
Kaka got second at a TI.
Yeah, Kaka got. Fly, not to be confused with Fly Win.
Or Fly.
Or Fly, yeah. And yeah, beyond that, just the same teams as always. But fun to see them there. I do think EG will be, if EG don't get...
If they don't get top 4, that'll be disappointing for them.
I think if they don't get top 2, they'll be disappointed. I don't think third means anything to them anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's just almost annoying.
Yeah.
It's like a meme. They'll want to be in the final. I mean, all the teams will want to be in the final, but I think EG have been playing really well. So I think just purely based off the last Singapore tournament, Vici Gaming are always going to be really good. They did beat EG 3-0 in the grand finals of the last... It wasn't a major. I don't know what it was. Was it a major?
No,
just a LAN. Yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of the teams that are out there. Basically.
Final question for me: what's happened to LGD? They weren't in the China qualifier. Have they taken a really long break or something?
Yeah. Yep. One of them had eye surgery. It might have been FY. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. I recall something along those
And
lines.
then
I have a
they
feeling
were-
it might be FY.
Extended breaking for sure. Probably coming back at the third major like OG.
Fair enough.
And then one other team, Beast Coast,
Beast Coast.
K1 Hector. Here we go. Let's see. What will he play? Not Wraith King, because Wraith King is not very good right now.
Yeah, what's he going to do? He'll find a way. He'll find a way to have 900 GPM on. Like,
Yeah,
a
that's what I want to
lifesteal or
see.
something.
I want to see him find a way. That's
Yeah, this guy farms. But yeah, that's the major chat, I suppose. And then onto our heroes with some drums. Who wants to start? Who should we do first? Maybe Adam's Venge, because that is the hero that perhaps deserves the most talk because it's such high win rate and high pick rate all the way up in Divine Immortal.
Yep.
so Venge. Yeah, Venge, very strong hero. Out of my 13-4, I'm 5-0 on Venge. So
Excellent. 22% pick rate in Immortal Plus, 55.5% win rate. Oof.
yeah, she's quite strong, and all good spells. So she got her Vengeance aura, her E reworked. Now it gives bonus primary attributes like old Luna passive,
Oh, yeah.
and it also gives bonus attack range. So I've seen quite a bit of like support Venge with the SF Drow type of thing, where you give bonus attack range and then bonus attributes, which also feeds into the marksmanship and stuff.
Right.
But I think what makes Venge really good, well, there's a lot of things, but like you're not punished for deaths as much because your spirit still lasts around after you die, and it deals quite a bit of damage, especially when it's max. You're like dealing 100% damage, and what I do, like what I also see people do, is you build a Vlad's, so when you die, you're still giving auras around.
Yeah, that's so strong.
Yeah, so if they forget about you in a fight, I mean, they should not be trying to kill the secondary illusion because it's not like worth their while.
Yeah.
It's only about like 15 gold or something. And if they keep it around, though, you're giving a Vlad's aura, or you're using it to like farm a lane that no one's in, just shoving the wave. It's really annoying. Or like killing bounty runes or things like that. And then the magic missile is a lot of damage. It's been nerfed. It does less stun now. But 325 damage at max is usually what I max to, because you need usually an amount of burst. And I secondary max the Wave of Terror because minus armor is really good. And it's very good vision. It's 10-second cooldown when you've maxed it. And it provides 4 seconds of vision. And it's really long. And you can hit a lot of people with it.
It's crazy long.
Yeah. You hit a lot of... You can scout Roche with it. You can hit a whole team with it. And then it's like -6 armor to everybody. AoE, it's like 40 mana, so it's like nothing. So you can spam it forever.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I really like about Venge is just Roche potential, because she's always like worked well with minus armor strats. So she gives -6 to the Roche. My secondary item I usually build after Vlad's is Solar Crest. So you're just taking stuff down really fast.
A classic.
Yeah, and then the swap is, I think that's another thing that makes it really good, is ever since that got buffed to 2 charges.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of heroes right now, like Ricky is really popular, and Disruptor is really popular, and you just swap your core out of like the bad stuff. Swap them out of Cloud, swap them out of Static Storm, swap them out of range of Mortimer's Kisses, stuff like that. And then you tank the gank, you die, but then you are still providing all of your auras and like right clicks and stuff.
BKB piercing as well. I know everyone knows that.
Oh yeah, it's so sick.
My goodness, it's like against specific heroes, Enigma being the classic one, you just deny the BKB black hole, and that is really strong. If you first pick your Vengeful Spirit and the enemy know that you've got a BKB piercing dislodge spell that breaks channeled abilities and all of that. Like, that's really strong. And
here's
two
the
charges,
question, though. Yeah, 2 charges is so strong. But the question is what is Mortimer's Kisses? It's not channeled, is it?
Yeah.
It is channeled, yeah, because stuns break it.
Then why, when I swapped, was she still shooting off her kisses?
Ooh, interesting.
Because that's kind of why I like picking Venge into Snap, because it's like really long range disrupt. But I swear I played a game yesterday where she was still shooting kisses after I swapped, and then I had to like stun her with the Q.
It's a weird one, Mortimer's Kisses, because it I want to say it's channeled, but when you use Mortimer's Kisses, there isn't a channeled bar. It's not like a TP or like...
Is there not?
Or like...
Yeah, I don't think there's a bar.
Also, it's not like... if you Fiend's Grip someone, you have the bar, don't you?
Yeah.
And if you use the Crystal Maiden Ultimate, you have the bar. With Mortimer's Kisses, there isn't a bar, but it still is disrupted by stuns. And if you press S. So I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say I'm like 99% that it did not stop the kisses.
Yeah, there's something weird going on. It's like it's like a channeled spell that it was obviously isn't quite in the same category as all those others for some reason.
But you do have 2 channel. Every other channel, you have 3. You got both charges of swap and then the missile stun. So that's like 3 channel cancelers on one hero is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Just on the Mortimer Kisses point, someone's going to have to test it. But it is interesting. On the wiki, it says launch duration is 6 seconds, so as opposed to some channel thing. And then in the notes section, it says it's cancelled if Snapfire gets stunned, silenced, cycloned, hexed, slept, feared, or hypnotized. And none of those are like a swap, right?
Yeah, and like just her moving. So it's like if she was to, move command somewhere. So then it's like swap isn't doing that, right? It's almost like the lizard is the one shooting the kisses, and you're just moving the lizard, and that doesn't actually stop it from happening. He's still happily just shooting fireballs.
That's so weird that it wouldn't just be a consistent channeled ultimate.
Yeah. That is bizarre.
That is really weird.
Yeah, but still goes without saying, level 6 swap is a bit bad. It's just so low range, but yeah, I always get it because it is still really strong. I mean, it's like Glimpse is bad level 1 too, but I think you still, as a level 1 spell, but you still want to skill it because, I mean level 1 as in first skill point. I do not mean skill Glimpse at level 1. Yeah, but I think with swap, especially with the double charges, it's very strong.
So when you think about Venge as a support in the meta at the moment, it's sort of like the W and combining with the Vengeance aura buffs the heroes around you and debuffs the enemies, and then you have this like casual stun, which everyone loves. Casual stuns in Dota are like the best thing ever. So you got a 9-second cooldown, 1.7 second stun. It's pretty nice, some decent damage. And then you have this almost X Factor swap spell that's offensive potential, lots of save potential. So it just seems like a really well-rounded support. Is it a particularly... Go on, Marco.
I think she really, really loves the skirmish meta as well, though, because like Adam said, or even if she dies, she's adding value with auras. But in fights, her spells are such low cooldown that she's always getting them off that stun and wave less than 10 seconds each. Then even killing Venge, relative to other POS 5s or conventional 5s, she's way harder to kill. I think she's naturally tankier. Will get a power.
Well, she's agi, so yeah.
Our armor's better.
Lots of armor.
So she is harder to kill than a CMO Lion typically is. And then she's also got not just swap saving allies, but if she gets gone on, swap your POS 3 into the fight, save yourself. She's very, very hard to kill for those reasons. And then, just loves the fight dragging on and on because she's always adding value. She doesn't have just some gib of an ultimate or, do you know what I mean? She loves a long fight. So the play style and the meta really, really suits her kit.
It's always a classic. You walk up. You're great at sieging because everyone's in a ball. You're giving everybody everything, and then you walk up to the tier 3 and you just swap in the enemy support because they're like, I'm going to nuke the wave, and they just forget that, oh, I have this 1200 range ability. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but at like max, you're like, oh, I just swapped you into my whole team, and then you just take a tower with ease. And
how
then,
does?
sorry, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, how does laning feel with Venge? Is it a particularly strong laning hero, or is that a weakness?
I think that's one of her like weaker areas, but it's still fine. I think she gets a lot better with more points in the abilities. But you can still, if you have a right click core, it's fine. The stun is fine, and you do trade very well at level 2 with a Wave of Terror because it's -3 armor, and that's quite strong. That like 2-point combo between Magic Missile and Wave of Terror. If you have a stun on your core or like another slow follow up, you usually can kill people. And then I don't get the aura till 4 usually.
Okay, with 2 points in the queue, you said you're maxing the queue.
Yeah, I like to max the queue right now.
Interesting. I think, you don't have to max the queue. Some people just get 1 point and leave it. But you can max it.
She's one of my heroes that I've played the most, like throughout the years, and there definitely has gone from like Q max to W max, and then gone back and forth. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely played at level 11, having 1 point in the queue and everything else maxed out, or the other way around.
How's the mana with maxing Q and the lower cooldown? What do you do for mana?
It's fine. It's not. I always start off with 3 mangoes in lane, so you're totally okay. And then I have been building mana boots sometimes. Also, I always get a Bassi, so it's like the Viper thing. You're pretty much okay, and then when you have a Vlad's, you're okay. Yeah. Sometimes I just go keep brown boots. Sometimes I do get mana boots, and that usually turns into an Aether Lens or something.
I feel like Venge and another hero I just thought, Lich, with the maybe a little CM, but she's a bit less favored. But these support heroes with spells that take up a lot of mana proportion of the pool, the mango change honestly is something that has helped them get back into the meta and into popularity. Now being able to stack mangoes to 3, like you mentioned, if you've got a mango and you pop one on Venge, you've got a third of your mana pool back, if not.
Oh, I think it's half.
Yeah, it's not half.
Yeah.
So now you don't mind using all your mana in with 2 spells because you've got 3, if not 6 mangoes ready to pop, and you're good to go again. Whereas in the past, if you've got 1 mango taking 1 slot, it's a bit too excessive. So then, I can't spam all my spells in this 45-second engagement, so this hero's a bit shit. But this mango change, honestly, I think is bringing in Avenge, and Lich is another one that comes to my mind in terms of spamming your queue.
Yeah, I like her in the off lane as a 4. She can definitely 5. I think it's a bit greedier. It's like, it's not as greedy as, say, a Shadow Shaman 5 or a Lion 5. But I do like a little bit of gold on her because you get the Vlads. And then my 4 build is 6 tangos, 4 branches, and 3 mangoes. And you're just like kind of tanky. You got all your mana. You use 2 of the branches for like the double tango, and then you build Buckler and Bassi first, and then you're just kind of tanky.
Also, I think another reason why you'd maybe look at Venge as a 4 before a 5, again, not that it can't 5, is just when I'm visualizing Vengeful Spirit in a lane, if you're the 5 and you're up against like a tree LC or like a tree Abaddon lane or something, I feel like you could just kind of get wrecked. But a lot of, if you're in an off-lane combo, you're probably going to be better with a lot of these very strong laner 3s, like your LCs and your Abbas and your stuff, and the enemy 5 is like a Lich or a Disruptor that's just sort of spamming a Q and not really offering too much else. So maybe you can iron out that weakness a little bit more, if you can call it that, by playing it as a 4.
That's a really good point. I was thinking in my head, oh, I'd be a bit worried to play Venge as a 5 and get slapped a bit too hard in the lane. But yeah, in the off lane with the 3, definitely, I think more viable.
Yeah, you can follow up stuff really well. Stun in the stun, and then just bop people. Yeah. And then classic Adam's talent corner.
I was about to intro it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead. You intro it.
The only thing you know how to talk about. Well, the thing you like to talk about the most.
Talents.
The talent tree.
Almost always 15% magic resistance at level 10, because you have a bit of a low health pool, but you have a lot of armor, so this helps you against burst. You can kind of split with the 15, go 15 agi or minus 3.5 seconds magic missile, but I do like going minus 3.5 second magic missile.
Yeah.
Because it makes it 5.5 seconds, which is really low for that good of a stun and that much
crazy
damage.
low.
Yeah. Level 20 is probably the weakest. I do go plus 8. Well, I say it's not the most flashy. Plus 8 Vengeance Aura at attributes is really strong, because it ends up being you give 21 bonus primary attribute. So it's like 21 strength or 21 agi.
That's really good.
Yeah. Or it's that or 200 magic missile damage. I just think the stats are better. It's like that's kind of what you're building towards as the hero, like with the Vlads and stuff anyways.
And also when you're dead, you're still, your little ghost gets it as well, so that's quite nice.
And then 25, I don't get there that often because I just win the game like quicker. But 25 is the old Ags. You get the Vengeance or Illusion cast spells, and then when you die, it is actually beneficial because they blew all their spells on you, and then you just pop out and you swap them back in, or you stun them again, and they're like, "What?"
You literally gain reincarnation. You gain Wraith King's ultimate spell.
You do take 150% damage, but that's like really low for an illusion. It's almost nothing.
And I love how the illusion's permanent until you respawn, unless you die. That's crazy. Really
and it's either that or magic missile pierces spell immunity, which is still quite a valuable one. I mean, if they have a lifestealer or something, you can swap in, they rage, and then you stun. But I haven't had to skill that yet. So you get the you get that old Ags. It's like a 4200 talent basically of gold infusion.
And it's worth saying just quickly while we're on the Vengeance Ghost or whatever you call it, it takes 150% damage. That is not much for illusions in Dota 2. For comparison, Chaos Knight's Phantasm, 350% damage taken by those illusions.
Yeah, those die to like a Lena nuke.
Yeah. A Vengeful Spirit, 150%. That is not much. That is really not much for illusion. So this is like a tanky illusion, right? Like as they come. This is an exceptionally survivable illusion. It's very reasonable, especially when you're 25, to think, if I die and get jumped on, there's a pretty good chance I'll be able to survive with my ghost in a lot of situations. And that's what and especially, makes the sound even better.
Yeah, especially later in the game. Because Venge has really nice stat gain for supports. 2.4 strength and 3.8 agi.
Wow, that's good.
So she gets pretty beefy.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
The best thing about the Venge Ultimate is that it deletes any incentive to buyback because you die and you've still got a hero to control. So
net worth.
So yeah, why do you need to buy back when you're controlling the little ghosty?
That's when they kill your ghosty, then you buy back and come back in, and they kill you again, and then you have the ghost again.
Need Marco to play some core Venge.
That's 4 lives right
those
there.
Buybacks. Huh?
It's like you have 4 lives when you buy back.
So Adam's encouraging me to lose my first illusion so I can buy back and die and get a 4th illusion.
The value. When you get 25, bit of a weird question, but when you get 25, I presume your Vengeance Aura illusion shares cooldowns with your main hero. You don't just, if you use a stun, immediately die.
I don't know. I think it might be new.
I reckon it'd be new. It's a new unit.
You probably don't get. I don't think you get both swap charges, but
because Wraith King doesn't share, does he? You don't just have a stun as soon as you come out of Reincarnate.
not usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see reason for Wraith Kings to reset. I have another question. Can the Venge illusion use items?
No,
No. Okay.
unfortunately, that's why the auras are good.
Yeah.
Because I would kill to be able to Solar Crest someone as an illusion. That would be so nice.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, overall, Venge, I think, unanimously would get our new meta seal of approval.
I'm intrigued to play Venge in a ranked now to see how it goes, as particularly as a 4.
Yeah.
The real thing I was going to end on was the trivia of what is Vengeful Spirit's name, because this one I would not know.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like Shalazay.
Oh, it's one of the... Oh, no, it's not, actually. I was going to say, because there's been threads about the spirits' names, but Venge isn't an official spirit.
No.
So I won't have seen it.
She's
so
Skyra. Ex-Skyra. Shendel Zar.
That's what I said. Something around this. Shendel. Yeah,
You got decently close.
It's close. It's yeah.
Dota 1? Did she just come up as Vengeful Spirit? The name's very unfamiliar.
I know she fell from heaven or whatever. She was in love with Skyrath Mage, and then she lost her wings.
Oh, no.
Feels bad.
Oh,
Then
yeah,
she got them
Shendel's a
back.
Silkwood. Interesting.
In a cosmetic.
Yep.
She has wings in one of the cosmetics. Or does she have wings anyway? I don't even know.
They're like
Tiny.
they're smaller wings.
I tell you a hero that does have wings. Dragon Knight, while he's in
Half the
form.
time.
Half the time, yeah, when he's in Elder Dragon form. Marco, I don't know if Ricky's going to get shunned, but I know you're a DK fan anyway.
I am a Sly fan.
Yeah, we know you've played DK at a LAN. I remember you played a DK.
Yeah, bro.
You're a LAN-winning DK player, so yeah. I have a theory that DK is not a bad hero in the current meta. I don't know whether that will be lauded, applauded, or condemned by the general populace of this podcast listenership, but DK, I've played 2 games of DK recently, and when I say recently, I mean I played one today and one yesterday. Surprisingly a lot of fun, this hero, and also surprisingly good. The game I played today was against a Queen of Pain mid, and that is an incredible matchup for DK. He just doesn't care about Queen of Pain harass at all, really, and has more base damage, so it's just good times. And the reason I picked it against Quap is because I saw a Gork game where he picked DK against Quap, and
I was about to say I saw that Gork video.
Yeah, see, I saw that, and then I was inspired. Then when they picked Quap, I was like, let's do Dragon Knight. But yeah, DK, a lot of options. He ticks a lot of boxes for playing Dota 2 in below sort of immortal level, where oftentimes your team isn't as tanky as it should be, as because you've got a position 3 Weaver or a position 3 Sniper or like a position 1 Drow and a position 3 Void, but you know the drill, like we've all seen them. And also you lack control, you don't have enough casual stuns because you've got a Snapfire 5 and like your 3's a Weaver, you know. It ticks both of those boxes. It's quite a stable laner, but I don't know whether I'd recommend it being picked unless it's last pick, because if you come up against a Monkey King or a Razor or even like a Slark mid, you're going to have a bit of trouble. That said, he's a hero that doesn't necessarily need a ton of farm to do bits. He's not really a hard farmer. Once you get your levels, you can always turn up to a side lane at level 7, say, and just pop Dragon Form, pop Dragon Tail, and you're oftentimes getting a kill, and oftentimes, once that's secured, you can definitely pressure a tower, as we all know with DK. And also, if the enemy mid ever has a failed rotation and you're level 6, their tower is going to be minimum 2/3 health gone, pretty much. You can clear waves super fast with Bree Fire. A lot of options in the items you can build. The game I played today, I rushed a Radiance. Gork style, and then the game before I went drums Blink, BKB I think. This game Radiance AC. Lots of options. You can even, if you really felt like the game necessitated it, I wouldn't even mind you going more of an aura thing and just pretending you're like a Necro or something, or pretending you're an Underlord with like a fat Dragon Tail. And the talents are pretty strong. That's sort of like my overview. That's sort of my theory on Dragon Knight. I think this hero is massively overlooked in general, especially in the current patch. I think it's much more pickable than people think. And also, if you're stomping, you can build an Aghs, and there's few things more fun than being a black dragon in Dota 2 that can walk over cliffs and stuff.
60%, so 60% move speed slow. Black dragon.
Oh, it's insane. It's absolutely obscene. It's
in a splash. Like,
yeah. It's so good. It's very, very good. Marco, anything you want to add about why DK is good, or what you like about DK?
I think he's a really funny one. If he's really in the middle, I feel like he can be very good. I think what's hard about the hero and why you probably don't see it lots or see it played well is that I feel like it's its movement, the hero movement, that is really important. I think he's not a good ganker. He's hard to gank. He's not a good farmer. He'll get out-farmed easily. He gets stuff done in his ultimate. That's a big factor. So it's about your movement and timing of your ultimate that means so much. Like where you're farming across the map, where you're moving your hero is, to me, so much about this guy. And I think that's hard to do well. But then at the same time, when you do that well and get higher up the ranks, the enemy team is also good enough to understand your strengths and are good enough to understand, okay, this hero really struggles to get stuff done in the early mid game when he doesn't have his ultimate, so we're going to respond to that. He is a kind of slow hero, so we're going to move him around the map more. He's not a great farmer, so there's so many mid heroes that could farm way better than him. Hence, his strengths do get countered, or not even countered, but just ousted by a lot of other heroes. So he's in this weird balance of he can be sick, but he can get pulled apart by better players. I think what you say, he probably is underpicked, and people probably don't realise that he's not too difficult, but you do have to be smart with where your hero is, and I think it is difficult to get his ult right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's all about movement and that ult usage, and because he farms bad and because he's slow, you're not going to get tons of opportunities to do work. So when you do have your ult up and when you do pop it, you kind of have to get stuff done. And if you don't, it's like there's so many other heroes that are going to use that downtime so much better than you and be able to respond better to things across the map because they don't have this big ultimate spell that they need.
I think he would really struggle against, well, this isn't an insightful point, but when the enemy team's got good wave clear, I think he really struggles because he is all about, in that 8 to 20 minute window, he does want to munch down a lot of towers, and he does want to move, like, just run down lanes a little bit. But if the enemy team can respond with just really good wave clear and you're wasting time lingering bottom, slow sieging, not sieging fast enough, and they're farming fast elsewhere on the map, it can feel like your hero starts to fall behind, and it's difficult. But then I do like how he can nail lanes, like you say, the Gork and the Quap examples. He can be a decent farmer, but again, he's harder than other heroes, I feel, to farm really well, so it might not always work out.
The other hand of the point of he needs to get stuff done with his ultimate and with his spells is, especially at lower MMRs, it's quite easy to get stuff done. When you pop your ult and you've got Dragon Tail in Elder Dragon form is an incredible, incredible spell. It's a plenty long enough stun, long range, extremely fast projectile. It must be one of the fastest projectile stuns out there. And Breathe Fire is a great nuke, and your damage is strong in Elder Dragon form. So I'm just thinking of the game that I played yesterday particularly. I had a lot of skirmishes almost fall on my lap when I was just playing mid, and suddenly they try and gank me when I'm 6. Someone on my team TPs. It's an easy turn and suddenly like I'm getting triple kills just because there's a skirmish and the hero does so much in these skirmishes because people won't want to target you because you're a mid hero usually, although I do think this can be played in as a side lane core, but you're a mid hero usually, you're very high level, which means you're very tanky because you're going to be getting points in the E. Enemies won't want to target you down, which means you're going to be able to output the damage and you're going to be able to output the stuns, which is excellent. That's like exactly what you want. I do think it struggles against disengage for the same reasons that it struggles against wave clear. If you pop your ult and you can't hit a tower because they've cleared all the creeps, or you can't hit a hero because they've got to disengage and they've left. Like, you really need to be able to have a team that gets a kill in Dragon Tail duration, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. If you can't have that, then you can struggle. Just in terms of you saying it's a middling hero, I think it's funny because this hero has an exactly 50% win rate of 49.97% in Immortal and Divine. 1.5% pick rate, though. That is incredibly low. Right at the bottom, actually, the 5th lowest or 6th lowest pick hero in the game.
He's better than that for sure.
Yeah, it is pretty harsh that it's so low.
Yeah.
On the movement point as well, I feel a lot of mid heroes are relatively more reactionary than this guy. So if you think about, that just comes from the point that most mid heroes are more mobile than this guy. So the way you play, you're relatively mobile. Mid heroes that you see a room, make a gank happen, or there's a TP rotation on and you do that rotation and help turn a fight. Or a fight breaks out or is going to break out, so you as the mid hero start making your way over. DK can't be played like that. He has to be the one that is bringing the fight. And I think that if you don't, and that comes back to the hero movement and where are you taking your guy across the map and what objectives are you forcing to happen. So he does have a different play style to most mids in my eyes, because mid is either mobile, int hero, or it's a hard farmer. DK doesn't fit in any of these conventional categories.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I like a good like Necro Viper. It's similar-ish. They're not hard farmers, and they're also not agi. They're not also not mobile int heroes. I know Necro is an int hero, but
yeah,
it's similar-ish to those. I do think DK. Again, it just comes down to Dragon Form. Like you can definitely TP react to fights and dives and stuff, but you have to have Dragon Form. If you don't, then you're just the easiest hero to ignore and kite in existence. Like, you're not going to get into melee range to get your Dragon Tail off.
Yeah.
Like, if you're TPing into a fight, like if there's a skirmish around your shrine and you TP, like you have to have
that's why you
Dragon
build Blank.
Yeah, so I think
Shadowblade.
Yeah, I think one of those two is really most often necessary.
Yeah.
If I look at the games where so my DK match history is a funny one because I play this hero basically 3 to 4 times a year. So going back to 2013, playing it just a handful of times. But when the games have gone well, and I got a pretty decent win rate. Last game, PT Drums, Blink, BKB, 19 minutes. One other game, 11-minute Blink. I really, really like Drums into Blink because the Drums helps that gap close. And then it's also
very nice,
it's that skirmish item, it's that momentum item. If you go siege a tower and you tell your team, I need 2 of you, siege this, and you're inviting the enemy team to come fight you, but with a Drums Dragon Form, at 10 minutes in the game, you are by far the strongest hero on the map. But then, like Adam says, the Blink gap closer, I do think is, in a lot of games, or most games, really, really necessary because the guy just doesn't have the mobility. He is a slow hero, and yeah, you've got a range stun on Dragon Tail, but everyone's got a lockdown with that range. It's nothing special, so Blink really enables you. And then I think you can just go BKB and just be a menace and just start fights to happen. And
yeah, no, I'd agree. The 2 games that I had, one I went Blink and one I didn't. So the game that I played earlier or yesterday, that was like Marco. I had Treads, Drums, Blink at 15, and then I just went Ags at 23 because we were ahead, and Ags is good. BKB also would have been fine. What I would say on that is I did grab a Bracer at 6 minutes as well, so Treads Bracer. I think I would say you want one bracer always, and I'm not sure whether you want two. I definitely think two is better than none, because I do think bracer is really sick on the hero. So it's worth always picking one, maybe two. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then the other game, I just went Treads Radiance. So I got the Radiance at 20 minutes, again with one bracer. And then BKB 28, AC 34. And then eventually Blink right at the end of the game. So that one, the reason I didn't go Blink in that one is because we were against a Lion, Quap, Ursa, who were jumping on us. And so I really didn't need a Blink because the fight was coming to us. So I can just pop. It's better to get Radiance, which stops them. Like, the mischance is good against Ursa, and Quap's jumping in. I don't need to jump it to her. Again, Lion flying in. I don't need to fly into him. So that was the reason behind not getting a Blink in that game until later. I simply didn't need it to do work. Whereas sometimes if you're on the offense, the game before that I mentioned where I did go Blink, we had yours faithful Marco. We had the Taco Ricky. So he's obviously a very aggressive hero that wants to be flying around the map. And so on DK, I can provide a Blink stun at 15 minutes into the game with lots of damage and stuff, and drums. That just enables the Ricky position 1 a lot. So that's going to be the case with a lot of these mobile high damage carries.
Man, Blink Dragon Tail on top of a Ricky Cloud. Whoa. That's a pog.
Yeah, man. For sure. Marco, you mentioned items you like, drums and Blink. Beyond that, do you see DK as being a hero with a lot of options, or is there standout core items, do you think?
I know Rady is often, people love to get it, or there used to be
I think Rady you either rush or you don't get it.
But yeah,
it's like Kunkka. I feel like they're the same in the term of the Radiance carrier.
I think it's game dependent if you can go, I have the time and space to farm up a Rady versus do I need to be charging my team forward with drums?
Yeah, I actually don't. I don't like it in most games. I only think go Rady if you've had a really good laning stage, I did against Quap, and you can quote unquote get away with it. Yeah. I even think in the game where I went Rady today, I drums Blink would have been maybe better anyway.
Yeah, looking at my Dota, I've literally never bought Radiance, so I can't really comment on it. But I do think the playstyle of something like a drums, something like a Blink, to just get you snowballing a little bit would be better on the whole. And again, someone else on your team can provide more damage, say. BKB most often is going to be just super good on this hero, understandably. Often AC is a good one for you to get later in the game. And then
Ags we mentioned.
We mentioned Ags. It is a luxury item.
Yeah.
I think it is quite the luxury, though. It is so strong.
Those are the core ones. I think Blink, BKB, drums, and AC are the ones that stand out.
And then maybe Shadow Blade, if you're not going Blink. But you
can do.
If you need a certain type of initiation.
Yeah.
But I'm really off of the Shadow Blade on the whole as an item, but it's like a classic DK item. Plus the attack speed's pretty nice. Do you remember this game a week ago? Or I don't even think it was 3 days ago where I played Dragon Knight Stand and you were PL?
Oh goodness, yeah. I remember you random Dragon Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went 0, 3, and 7 was my KDA, and we won in 30 minutes.
Ease clap. Yeah, that was funny.
I went Radiance that game. I was against a lone druid mid, and that was like the easiest lane ever. We just kind of like ships passing in the night. We just kind of both hit our creeps. I almost killed his bear a few times, but then he would resummon, and then we just both farmed up stuff. And I think we found the hero that Nethershaw is amazing on, and it's Dragon Knight. That is a sick item on Dragon Knight. Plus, I had the Dragon Scale, which, I mean, that's like cosplay 101. But then Dragon Scale is +5 armor, Nethershaw's -3 armor. So it's net +2 armor, 5 HP regen, 8 spell damage, and plus 20 magic resist. That is actually a sick combo. Those 2 items.
Yeah.
On a hero, especially one that's tanky like Dragon Knight.
One item we haven't mentioned that I actually think is oftentimes pretty core is Soul Ring. I think Bracer Soul Ring, Treads Drums, or like Bracer Soul Ring, Treads is going to be the items you're going to get every game.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
What
do you think about Soul Ring with the talent though? At 10,
Yeah,
that's the thing. Is three mana regen.
You don't need a Soul Ring eventually, obviously, but I still think if you don't get Soul Ring, it's like you can't. You need man. Sure. You have big mana problems until you get 10.
Wanden's ferrying out Clarity's Mangoes and then the 3 mana regen talent at 10, I do think you can overlook Soul Ring. It is a contentious point. I feel like if you can get it really early, so like in the first few minutes, because you've CS'd the first 2 waves perfectly, or maybe got first blood, then I think the Soul Ring's really valued because of your laning. That strength and HP regen is really strong, and then obviously the active is useful. But if that Soul Ring's only going to come at 7 minutes and you've already got a Bracer and you're getting closer to level 10, I feel like its value's not enough.
Yeah, so I think it's a call you have to make. So just looking off some of these guides on Dota Buff, we have a 3-minute Bracer, 4-minute Wand, 4.5-minute second Bracer, then 6.5-minute Treads. Then the next game we've got Wand, Bracer, Soul Ring. Soul Ring being finished at 6, just the one Bracer there. Then we have Bracer, Wand, Treads. Treads being finished at 8, no Soul Ring there. Bracer, Wand, Treads, no Soul Ring. And then Soul Ring this time finished at 2 minutes 58. That's very fast.
Yeah, I feel like first 3 minutes. If I've ever got Soul Ring, it's 3 or 2 minutes, and I feel like after that, I don't like it.
Yeah, in my
there's
game,
a couple
it
here
like
popping up 6 minutes, but yeah.
Double Bracer Soul Ring at 4:30. It went Bracer Soul Ring. And I didn't see. I didn't go the mana regen talent. I went the minus 30% breathe fire because
right. Okay.
I think it's like on paper that is an amazing ability. It's minus 50 damage. It's minus 50% damage in an AOE. It's one of those things that's hard to quantify.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, it seems like it could be really good, but then I do think you have to go a Soul Ring if you don't go the mana. Yeah. So like in that Gork game, he had the mana regen talent plus a CM on his team. So he definitely didn't need a Soul Ring. Yeah. That's like the dream for a Dragon Knight is to have a CM on your team.
For sure. And then just a couple items to name check as well. I think a Halberd and an SMY you can see in the mix in that sort of mid item progression. You often see that. Both have their merits. Halberd obviously is situational if you have someone that you need to start right clicking. That it's a hero that can build that if the game needs it. You can definitely consider it. SMY, I'm not sure about this one, but it's just I thought I'd mention it. It's popped up on some of these guides on a couple of these games. It's there. I suppose you can consider it. It's being picked up more than I would build it, but these pros in the guides know a lot more than me. And then the other item that is thrown up a lot is I think Daedalus is very common post AC, and I think that makes sense because DK is certainly a hero that's damage can fall off a lot. I've had DK games in the past where I just feel like I'm not really doing damage, and I'm like, man, I really need a Daedalus. So I think it makes sense that once you've got the BKB and the blink, you can go for a luxury item like Daedalus that just gives you raw damage. Yeah,
and doesn't your splash crit as well? If you were to crit on a dragon?
I believe it can. And also with the Ags, your splash deals more than 100% damage. It's 115.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy because it's a large AoE.
Yeah.
Also,
and you turn into a turret because you get like bonus attack range from the Ags too, I think.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, another 100. What's it called? Bloodthorn is another possibility. So you get the Crystallis and then Bloodthorn can get picked up. That'll be quite nice.
Titan Sliver is a good neutral item
Titan Sliver.
on him. I feel like status resist.
Greater Fairy Fire.
I love that item. We don't want to. We don't want to reveal all of our tier 2.
Of course, yeah, we can't go there.
Second episode, yeah.
That's a perfect segue because I feel like we've pretty much reached the end of the pod. Apologies.
No talents, but
oh yeah, sorry. All right. We'll do talents quickly then.
So he did get them changed drastically because he had an experienced talent. So
and he had a GPM talent.
Yeah,
he has neither. We mentioned 10, the choice between 30 pre-fire and mana regen. I think mana regen is more popular. Maybe you can situationally go for 30 pre-fire. Mana regen does enable your hero a lot though. 15. What are our thoughts on 15? The choice being 30 damage or 400 health. I feel I've only gone damage, I think.
I went health in my game because I just want to be tanky boy.
I think maybe it depends if your tankiness isn't being able to be realized. Maybe the health will help you. Oftentimes I do think of DK as like it's better to try and iron out your weaknesses, which is damage a lot of time, rather than trying to give yourself extra health, extra tankiness. But that's, I suppose, a choice. I think damage is a bit more popular though. 20 is the most interesting one. Actually, 20 and 25 are both interesting.
20 is the new one.
20% cooldown reduction or 25 strength. What do you reckon, Adam?
Well, see, the new one's the 20% cooldown reduction, and CDR is always slept on. It is so strong. That's cutting off 23 seconds on the ult. It goes from like 115. This is just like mental math. I don't know if that's
115
totally right.
to 92.
Yeah, the 92. So that's like significant amount, especially since it lasts a while. Lasts a minute. So then you're going down to like 30 seconds where you don't have it. It's really strong. And then, stun duration on Dragon Tail is 3.5 seconds or 3.25 seconds and a 9-second cooldown. If you cut another second, 2 seconds off of that, it's like half uptime. It's so much stun.
If you've got Blink as well.
Yeah. So the stun duration for Dragon Tail with the talent is
it's 5.25, which is crazy.
What do you think about this 25 talent choice, Marco? 2 second Dragon Tail or ×2 Dragon Blood HP regen and armor?
With most 25s, it's game dependent, but probably most often that Dragon Tail, you blink in, you get a 5-second stun on someone. It's pretty game winning.
It's giving you, at level 25, it'd be giving you an extra 12 armor and 16 health regen. 12 armor's pretty good for the Dragon Blood, but I do think, and I think that's probably what most people get. Well, that used to be the 20 talent, and it moved up to 25. Dragon Tail though is so sick, and I will say that Dragon Knight might be one of the best level 30 heroes. Like, damn, getting these other other
game.
4 ones. Like, let's say you go the mana regen, so now you're getting minus 30% breathe fire, and then you're getting an extra 400 health, and then you're getting an extra 25 strength, which is another
25 damage.
And then how much health is that? Like 500? Or that's way more than that, right? Or is it 25 strength is 500 health?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're getting...
you got 20 for each.
And then you're getting 16 more... Or 12 more armor, and then however much regen. You're even getting more regen because of all the strength. So it's like, dang. Level 30 Dragon Knight is a scary.
And by that time, you've got like an Ag Synth or whatever, so you're just like a Black Dragon. Yeah, man, that's the real deal right there. I know for 25, it's interesting because the ×2 Dragon Blood talent has a higher pick rate and a +3%. It's always difficult to tell with these things how much to read into them, but I feel like I just can't look past the Dragon Tail. +2 seconds, like
it's comically long.
It is,
5-second stun, like what?
It's like a Chaos Knight getting those 6-second Chaos Bolts at 25. It's just, you just feel like you're not even in the game anymore. when you're stunned that long. And man, like that 10 talent, it's percentage based. So it's actually extra value later at level 30. That's not very many level 10 talents you could say are like that you do not pick at level 10 are actually good at level 30. But Breathe Fire damage reduction is actually so strong.
That's DK then. We mentioned neutral items earlier. I think that'll be the next episode, I think. Not for certain, but we'll probably do the second part of the neutral items episode, talking about tier... Wait, did we only do tier 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Jesus, okay, so tier 3 and 4 at least, next episode, I think. Yeah, join us again then, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.